Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this week's section of reads. These readings should be on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below. Other than that, let's go ahead get into the reading you chose. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? You got the Ten of Wands upside down. I guess we'll see. It flew out. But I'm like, what are we talking about? That may or may not be good. I have no idea yet. Is this somebody else? Is that somebody else or is that you? It's just there. Like, is this supposed to... It's more a central part of the issue. Ten of Wands reversed. So the Ten of Wands reversed just by itself would be like something was very difficult working out, but difficult. And now that seems like that's changing. It's changing. But like, is it changing for the better? I'm questioning that. Is it changing for the better? Other people seem to be happy with what's coming next. Are you going to be happy with... It's more, it's your reading. Are you going to be happy with what's coming next? I want to get across it. There's only so much you're going to be a part of. There's a little bit of a random energy here. How long have you been a part of this? Whatever this is, you're used to certain, like, it's almost like if you worked in an ER, for example, an emergency room. It's kind of like there's certain things that are going to be random, certain things that have to be done in a certain way. But there's predictable randomness here. Like, working in an ER, you don't know what's going to come in, but it's going to be, it's that's probably going to happen. You're not shocked when something happens, or it's not really shocking that we're having that type of thing come in, but at the same time, it is random. Whatever this is. It could be a family connection for some of you. Like, there's just certain people that are just, that's how they are. Like, I know that's how that is. Something like that. I want to know more about this part. 8 of Pentacles reverse. So, if it's family, it's not family, I would say, that has always been there. Like, it's either people who are younger than you, or people who have married into the family. Maybe it could, if they're older than you and they're a part of your family, it could be that maybe you haven't had access to them. Maybe they lived further away and now they live closer, something like that. Because the energy does seem like it's closer than it used to be. So it could be like, again, they marry. Or it's something where the energy wasn't that close, it's gotten closer. Maybe you haven't had to deal with it as much, or maybe it's newer to you, but it's more of a concern. As we keep moving forward, it's more of a concern, more of something I feel like I have to, like, work with. I have to kind of, like, consider, because I don't want it screwing up my day. So I consider it, I think of it. I'm thinking about what's the deal. You work with it, but you also have strict boundaries with it, is what I'm getting. This is something this is what's changing. This is what's changing. We're trying to get into that a little bit deeper. But again, this is where I'm seeing you have rules, you have boundaries, and you're not willing to negotiate on those things, which is good. I don't see this as a bad card. It talks about Capricorn energy sometimes. It does talk about not having a lot of patience for people who break the rules, so that is there, but that is there. The current shift in energy is a little stressful, but I also feel like, all right, well, you got wisdom coming in with the stress in the sense of like, you know what, I can't be freaking out about it. I just got to see what's going on and just handle it as it comes. Again, it's like working in an ER. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a little bit crazy at times, but I don't have the luxury of losing my mind over it. This is what's happening. Okay, let me do this. This is what's happening. All right, let me do this. Handle it the best you can in the moment. That's just how it goes. The shift here, this change. I want to get past it to see what's on the other side, but I feel like we're still describing what it is. Some of it, I feel like there's only so much I can do. I do what I do, and then I back off. When I see her hands up, I'm like, that's it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I did what I could. That's it. Okay, I have my limits. There's definitely boundaries. They keep reiterating that. Definitely boundaries here. I do what I can. I do my fair share, but I'm not doing the whole thing. This is what I got. That's what I got. That's it. That's all I got for you. It is good. I feel like that's good. It's a good boundary. This has been very successful. This has been a good way to handle this. Has everybody liked it? No. But, you know, sometimes people who don't like stuff, there may be, you know what, you do it, you're there's nothing you're doing that's wrong. Sometimes people don't like things because they want more than they're entitled to. How's that? We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. We will leave it at that. As this is shifting, okay, what is going on for Virgo as this is shifting? You don't really know. You kind of know what's going on, you kind of don't. It reminds me of a lot of times where there's certain things where I'm like, I'm just not going to ask the question because I don't see how that answer is going to improve my life. So, or it's kind of like, I don't need that answer. We'll just see what happens next. It's almost like sometimes you ask questions and people expect you to do something, and it's like, for that reason, I'm not even going to ask because, I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm not even going to ask. The glamour here, either, I don't know if it's saying kind of like just go, let it just be, or it's maybe you're just letting it just be. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to act like it's okay, even though, because I don't want to be a part of that. Whatever they're doing, that can be a them problem. That's a heart necklace, but I keep thinking of a strawberry. I'm pretty sure that's a heart necklace. Where's my glasses? Yeah, it's a heart necklace. I kept looking at it, and I kept thinking it was a strawberry, but it's a heart necklace. And it makes me think, like, it reminds me of, like, sometimes you get a strawberry, and if it's too ripe or it's not quite right, well, if it's before it's ripe is what I should say. It's a little tart. It's like, ooh. That's kind of, something feels a little tart about this situation. Like, ooh. You're going to get done what you need to get done. You're going to keep moving forward the way you need to keep moving forward. There's like a either or. You can be very independent with that and just kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to stay off to my own and get done what I need to get done, and that's just how I'm going to handle it, which makes sense. But to get closer to where you actually want to be and get more of where, like, I feel like you could actually end up in a place where you could reposition yourself in a more comfortable position. But it's like, to get there, it's kind of like heading into the situation a little bit more, which I feel like is a lot to ask. You're still going to be self-sufficient. you're still going to take care of your responsibilities. Virgo is very responsible. Like I need to tell you, but like I need to tell you that. Like you're still going to do what you need to do, but it's kind of like heading into the situation, and if you ask the questions and you're still going to have your boundaries. There's only so much you're going to be willing to do, and that's good. But if you get in there and you ask the questions, you will have the ability to reposition yourself in a more comfortable place. I don't know exactly what that means. It feels, because it seems like things can go better for you without you getting dragged into something you don't want to be dragged into. Something does need to go differently. Information. It's informational. It's communication. It's talking about something. And just have it in your head, like, I'm not getting involved in anything, I don't want to, but I need the information. So it's kind of like, you maybe even start conversations with that, like, in relation to what I'm doing or how I'm participating, I would just like to know what's going on to make sure that I'm not wasting any effort or doing something that's counterproductive for something else that's going on. So I'm just looking for that, I just want to talk it out, see what's going on, get a little deeper into what's happening, not to get involved in it, but just to make sure that I'm not, working in a contrary direction, like causing issue. I don't want the work that I'm doing to, work against the situation. I want to participate in the success. I don't want to be working against the success. So it's kind of like I want to have that conversation, and maybe I'm setting the tone that way. Like, I got a lot going on. I'm not looking to add myself into new projects. I just want to make sure that what's going on, I'm not working in a counterintuitive way to. I want to make sure that I am working with that so I can add to the success, not work against it. And it's almost like if I find a way to start a conversation that way, like, I just want to make sure it makes sense where I'm going, which what you're doing is making sense, but that's the whole other story. We just want to get into this conversation without people getting expectations like you're going to add into something. That's the whole point of it. If you're willing to do that, you will find out what's going on here. There's something random going on here. And again, you're not looking to add into whole new projects, but you may be able to reposition yourself to where you can kind of block something from being a problem for you. This Queen of Wands energy and that Wheel of Fortune, I feel like this could be you. But in the sense of like blocking problems. Like before that even comes over here, it's not coming over here. It feels like that to me. Before that even comes over here, that's not coming over here. Like, nope. You turn right around, you go right back out that door. Nope. We have no place for that here. Like, no. There may be some things you do decide to keep when you see this Wheel of Fortune, but that's completely up to you. If you decide that that's going to work for you, you will. So there may be some extra bonuses if you decide that's warranted. But I feel for a lot of you, it's kind of like repositioning yourself, kind of like, whoa, before that comes over here, no. Or it may be even better. For some of you, it may even better, kind of like, I know you're coming this way with that, but that belongs over there. I know you're going over here with, no, that goes over there. No, this is where you call this person, they'll tell you what to do with that. This is not where that belongs. Or if it's like, all right, this does belong here, but this is how you put it. This is what we need, this information before you walk away. You put it over here where it goes, and you make sure all this information is there with it so it can be handled correctly. Don't make me chase you down. That's not going to be a nice conversation because I've already told you once what needs to be put there. It's not, I don't know if I'm coming off a little gruff because I don't mean to, but it's kind of like I'm just stating it and I'm putting forth the effort. Like, I'm not kidding. This isn't elective. This is do it. This is do it. And you could reposition yourself in a place to make sure people do kind of like, it's just going to sit there. If you don't fill that out, I can't move it from that spot until all this information. So don't walk away until you filled out all the information. I feel like I'm just kind of like putting all that in, yeah. So if you're putting that forward and you're adding in that way, this can go a lot better for you. This can be a lot easier, a lot smoother. I feel like this could be a lot smoother. A lot of this is coming anyway, But it's like by you being able to reposition yourself correctly in a way that you may not realize is even available to you, a lot smoother for you and a lot smoother for the situation in its whole. Um, this is one of your benefits to this situation. This is how you prove, like, to other people, like, you know, judgment goes in the situation's favor because you're there and you're making sure it goes correctly. I would also say it's not really in this reading, but I do feel like, you know, I would just kind of like make note to yourself and toot your own horn once in a while. Remind people how you help things work out in the correct way. People need that reminder because I feel like it's like you naturally make sure things work out. People need to be reminded of that. It's like they need to not take you for granted. Just every once in a while, just toot your own horn. I'm not saying you have to blow people off the stands. But, you know, once in a while, just beep, beep, give my way up, toot your own horn. I'm just saying. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.